Tim Stahl, first in the house tonight. Good to see you here, Tim. Thanks for checking in. Hey, man, Tuesday night here at Source headquarters, and we're getting ready to go coast to coast. Make sure you throw up where you're from, where you're watching, so we can give you a shout out. Rob Nussbaum in the house, Holly Peru, Walter Bednarski. Great to see you guys, man. Thanks for joining us so early in the show. DL Cannon. Great show coming up tonight with Cris and Michael. Jeremy Sather, good to see you, man. Chris Simmons, good to see you here. See you in just a minute. Great show coming up tonight. It's, man, a crazy world right now, but we're making it through, and I blame that on two wheels. Two wheels getting us by. Coast to Coast going live in just 3.5. Stick around. Make sure you hit the like and share button. Let everybody know we're going live with Coast to Coast. Oh, so many familiar faces. Dennis Stauber, Brad Kilpatrick, Dothan, Alabama, right down by Brother Barry. David Crum, Crescent, North Jersey. And the one, the only, Shadow. We got such a great audience out of Jersey, man. That's incredible. Must be all of our strong supporters up there. I actually got presents from Jersey last week. Got my own pork roll. Well, Taylor ham. It depends on what part of Jersey you're from. It was a Taylor ham and a pork roll. Matthew Travis, how's it going, Chopper Town? Good to see you here, man. Saddle Sore Ranch in the house. Brian, Swansea, Mass. Good to see all you guys. I want to take a minute and thank everybody over at Chopper Town Nation for helping us keep these shows strong. We're doing our best to bring you exciting, informational entertainment from the motorcycle world, Source Media, Cycle Source Magazine. Good to see all you guys here. Going live in just a minute and a half with Coast to Coast. Tony Tello, how you doing, sir? Medford, Mass. Well, last minute's always a killer. Waiting to get started, the anticipation, the nerves. What the hell? I guess we're close enough. Let's get started. We'll get this one out of the corral and up onto the racetrack and go live with this week's installment of Coast to Coast. Here we go.
Hey everybody, welcome to Coast. It's Tuesday night. Had some giant rain and wind here in Hawaii yesterday and the waves were crazy. Let's bring our host in, Mike Lichter from Boulder. I know he was skiing again today. Hey, are you there?
I'm here. What a great
went,
day.
Yeah, you went skiing. Tell me, how was it?
Yeah. Well, it's the third time since I saw you last.
Gee,
so I'm
nice.
kind of alternate. Do my physical therapy one day, then go skiing the next day.
Uh-huh.
It's awesome. I'm getting strong.
Well, that's good. I had an interesting week. I had surgery. I had surgery on my thyroid. I lost half my thyroid on Thursday, but it's okay. I don't really need it, I guess.
And I guess
Anyway.
that's what the neckerchief's about, right?
Yeah, well, it's my cowboy theme too. So yeah, I'm
There you
cool.
go.
I mean,
But you're looking pretty darn good for having just gone through surgery since I last saw you.
Well, yeah. Well, I had the drugs wore off, so I'm okay. But yeah, it was okay. It was all good. Anyways, great to see everybody here tonight. What's up?
Are you still resting, or are you pretty recuperated?
No, I'm okay now. I'm okay. I'm good. I mean, I can't rest too much.
Drinking?
I'm drinking kombucha, probiotics, and you're drinking wine.
That's right.
Hey, so tonight's going to be a great show. I love, I love maps. I'm a map nerd.
We both do.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. You have a filing cabinet through. I have so many maps. I have actually have MadMaps. We're gonna have Jenny on, Jenny Lefferts, who's the founder of MadMaps. But what kind of maps do you? I like paper maps. I mean, so
I have my MadMaps.
Okay,
I've had these for 12 years. I got a filing cabinet just filled with maps, and all over the world. My Eastern European map and my map of Afghanistan. Wow, I'm going to bring this on. I'm going to bring this on in the show. I got some cool. I feel like I'm going to show and tell in second grade or something.
I love maps since I was a little girl. I remember being with my dad and sitting in the front seat next to my dad because my brothers got to sit in the back. We had to take turns, and he would hand me the atlas and he'd say, "Let's, here we go. Let's go." So we'd go places, and I would just read the map, and I just loved it, and I still love it.
I think for me, it's almost like looking at a map makes you dream and makes you kind of wonder and travel in your mind what these places are like. So to me, that's the physicalness of maps. I think with digital, it's just too quick and it's too automatic, and you get right to the destination. Like, oh, what do you want to see? Whereas when you open up a paper map, it's tactile. You touch it, you feel it, you're bending it, and you go, oh, what's this? And different things catch your attention. I think it's real different.
I have an atlas under my desk. Okay. And I have the cannonball routes all on these. So I have gone through
that's great.
All the little back roads again in my mind. And that's the thing about maps and the memories. You go through little towns and you remember
exactly
the stops and the people you met and the food you ate. And maybe it was good, maybe it wasn't. But
memories and dreams. Why don't we bring Jenny on and we'll continue the conversation about maps in general with her.
Jenny Lefferts, here she comes, people. Come on, Jenny. There you are. Hi, Jenny.
Whoa, woohoo!
Well, welcome to the show. I have to say, you have a snake behind you, and it's okay. We're snake friendly.
Her name's Puppy.
Yeah.
No, seriously, my snake's name is Puppy. Anyway,
why?
I don't know, because I told my kid I would never, ever in a million years ever get a snake. And then I got a snake, and the snake had a name, and her name was Puppy, and now Puppy is my snake.
Of course.
And what does your other puppy think about this puppy?
I have introduced the snake to many of my dogs, and it is on a frozen food diet. It eats frozen rats, so the dogs are fine.
Oh no.
And it's not
the way you said that, I thought it was going somewhere else. Like, I've introduced my snake to many of my dogs, and one by one they disappeared.
Actually, I tried to feed it earlier, and let's not even go there. But hey, Michael, I heard you before the show started saying that you did not get your maps, and we sent you some.
I have maps. I have my maps from 12 years ago. Jenny was a client of mine. She used to buy photography, and when she had MadMaps, and so I got my MadMaps from Sturgis, Los Angeles, my Pacific Coast, Harley Davidson, Great Roads. I got a whole bunch of your maps. I don't have anything new. I don't know if there is anything new, but anyway, I have those, and that's great.
The entire product line.
I got some new ones today, Mike. Just so you know.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then this is my.
I want to get right into this map thing. So
and that's
Jenny,
your picture, Michael.
Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go.
It's beautiful.
So, Jenny, you were saying to us before that that you weren't all that into maps, but then when push came to shove, you said, no, I am into maps. So are you or aren't you? What's your history with maps?
A love and hate relationship, like anything. You know, it's so funny, you guys, because of the show and then asking me to find pictures and then go back through the 20 years of, it's amazing how much you love something until you start doing it as a living, you know? So the second we went into becoming a map publisher, it became a little more difficult, and the dream of being, spending more time on the road, and identifying the map, the roads that we were going to highlight, it doesn't really work that way. But we did hire, friends and riders and motor journalists across the country to find the roads. And I have always loved maps. I was kidding when I said I didn't love them. I do. It's the map is the stuff of the big picture, of the wanderlust, right? And the curiosity. It's like the super grand overview. It's the lay of the land. It's the points of the compass, right? It's everything where your dreams start. And you start in a diner in the morning over coffee, and you're pouring over the map to figure out where you're going, right? And at the end of the day, when you're having a beer or two and you look at where you've gone, and you're planning where you're going to go the next day. And it's all fine and dandy. That paper map is so essential. When you're on the road and you're riding, it's really nice to have the directions speak to you. I'm 100% on board with that. But the paper maps are what the dreams are made of, and especially in COVID times when we aren't able to travel as much. Some people are riding more right now, actually, than before. But
it's planning is so fun to me. It's half the fun of the whole thing is planning out where I'm going to go, and maybe I haven't been there before, and I want to know what are the little towns going to be like, and so maps are great. I just love them.
So my first town, Cris, is your town. I'm not kidding. Like you said, Highway 128, Northern California, and I was like, yes,
killer road,
absolutely.
Road.
Going to Boone.
The road meanders along through the wine country, and then it ends up in the redwoods, and then it skirts along this little river, and then it opens up into this majestic view of the Pacific Ocean where the sunlight is hitting the river, and it's just like sparkly, in the river. And that's my favorite place. That's one of my very favorite places on earth.
Was that the road we did on the Cannonball?
Yes.
Because you're describing that Cannonball experience of coming out of the redwoods and there's the Pacific Ocean. That was amazing.
I know. I got goosebumps just thinking about that.
See how excited you are? So that excitement that you guys are feeling right now is exactly what I felt when I started this company. It was like, holy crap, how do you share this information with other riders, right?
How did you get the idea? Where did the idea come from that you're going to do maps?
I kind of was talking to Michael about this a little while ago, and originally I was going to do motorcycle touring, California motorcycle tours, and CMT was actually already taken. And then I fell in love and I took off and went to Boston for a bit. Then I got pregnant, and then I got married.
There you go.
So,
nice sound effect.
Well, right after I had the first baby, I took this class at Northeastern. So she was born on the 21st of January, and on the 28th, I was at my first class. And it was how to start your business. And I went in there, and they were all taking bets to see a pregnant lady or the woman who had given birth was going to show up. And I did. And they made us talk about our ideas. And I was saying, hey, well, I'm going to do motorcycle touring. And the woman was really cute. She's like, well, why don't you try something a little easier, dear? Like, in Boston, we have bicycle maps. What about motorcycle maps? And I was like, damn, what a cool idea. So I went home, and I think the internet had just started. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
And I literally the next morning started calling dealerships across the country and asking them if they had a motorcycle map.
Had you already been a rider at that point or not? Were you already riding? Were you a motorcycle rider at that point?
Yeah, I only rode motorcycles. I never had a car license until I was 30.
Let's bring on some of your photos in the background while you're talking here,
Oh, yeah, I
because
love these.
it shows some of your early riding and early experiences with your family as well.
Oh, those are
That's
the
a
two
pretty cool
guys
shot.
that
I love that.
two guys I picked up before I had the family.
At a
Oh my
gas station. Perfect.
They're dear friends, actually. And I had just met my husband-to-be at the time. Well, actually, about 2 months prior to taking off and going to Sturgis for 2 weeks. So it was like I met him. I was like, "Hey, I think I love you, but I'm going to Sturgis with my friends, and I'll see you in a couple weeks." And
How did you meet them? Did you ask him for directions?
no, I packed him. Our first date, literally our first date. I put him on the back of that Sportster that you see in that picture, and I drove him. So he's a big guy. He's 6 foot, 200 plus, and he was living on a hill in San Francisco, and I literally almost dropped him because we were shooting up the hill, and he wasn't really holding on tight enough at the time. So our first date was me packing him and my best friend packing his friend.
Oh my gosh.
And that's Stella.
That's not an easy place to ride either with all those hills. San Francisco's crazy.
It's easy if you're not packing.
Yeah, if you don't have a big guy.
It's a cake if you're not packing. The second you pack, it's like, whoa, shit.
I got my first Harley in San Francisco.
You did?
That was
From Dudley Perkins?
Yeah. What's that? No, it was from Frisco Choppers, actually.
Oh, no way. You are a bad man, aren't you?
1977.
Oh,
Wow.
Very
What did you
cool.
get?
there you are. Oh my
Like I
God.
still have my 71 FX. There you are at is that your home office there?
This is the
Oh my
same
God,
office. So it's so bizarre because when we first started, first I got pregnant, got married, and then had another baby. And my husband said, well, you better hurry up and start your business. So in between the second and third baby, I made MadMaps. And eventually I had to give the kids this room. And we moved into an office space in the 2000s, especially when we were trying to take the product line from a format series of California to a national series. And we worked with riders. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you, Thunder Press. Shout out, Rorta. Frank Filo Gordo. I've never called you Frank. I don't know why.
Rorta, we miss so much, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pardon?
We miss Terry so much. We wish he was still out there riding with us.
Well, I think he's got a new hip. I'm sorry. Oh my God. He does.
I love
Piecing
this
them back
picture of you
together.
I love this picture of you and your kids. This next picture. You made you made really beautiful babies, girlfriend. Look at those kids.
Oh, thank
Gorgeous.
you. Yeah, that little guy, that baby that I'm holding, he now works at Sierra Steel Harley Davidson.
Really? Oh.
Yep. And my first bike was a Honda Rebel, and then I went and I made him get a Honda Rebel, and that didn't last very long. But I did pick him up. But yeah, that baby's 22.
Is that your youngest
So-
now?
Oh, and there's
And
Terry.
there's Terry. That's
Oh,
Terry
We
20
love-
years later.
We love
So-
Terry Rorta. So when did you actually start MadMaps?
1999.
And did it look like this, these smaller format maps?
No, they were always larger format maps. And then we came up with the Get Out of Town series.
I love these. I love these little ones.
I
They're
like the
really
ones
awesome.
you can keep. Here's my Sturgis one. I have to brag about it because I love it so much. And I love it because it's waterproof. And I know this one has been on my bike because I got out of my saddlebags the other day. It's still on
Well,
there.
the cool, the cool
And
thing
look what
is
I have.
just,
My Sturgis map that I've had for 12 years too.
oh, you guys rock. Oh, and you are, Michael,
go.
seriously, I sent you some more maps. We just updated the entire product line for maps.com. They are the parent company. I sold the company to them back in 2019. And he's really, God bless him. His name is John Glanville. And he is, talk about the penultimate map lover. This is the person that really needed to take the company to the next level. And we did, the last thing I did for MadMaps was take the product line and do a complete update of it. And you'll be getting, Michael, I promise you, you'll be getting a few maps.
Well,
But I
thank
do
you
want to
very
go
much.
back to
So
this
is
one.
the guy that took it over, there you go. So is he really a map person?
Oh, he is honestly the biggest map guru there is. He owns a company called Maps.com, and there's really
Boy,
we
that
couldn't have found a better fit for the company. So it's
maps.com. He must have gotten that like the first month of the internet.
I'm telling you, yes, pretty much.
Wow.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm saying that I don't know if he's watching or not, but I mentioned in the preview when we were coming on that I felt like this was show and tell in second grade. So I have a couple things here that I'm going to show you. One is my Asian highway route map. And this is one of my favorite maps because of the way it works. It works in multiple, it's almost like the internet and computer with different levels. So you could open it like a book and it's all keyed in different ways. And if you open it one way, it's just like a regular map. And if you open it at the top, then there's photographs along the route. And it just shows all different ways of looking at a map in one. But one of the coolest things here that I fell in love with is that I just think this is so unbelievable. I'm going to show you close. And how often do you see a map? Can you look at that? If you
The
could look
relief
close,
is gorgeous.
I don't know if you
That
could read it, but
relief-
it actually says unexplored. Can you imagine a place on Earth that says unexplored? Is that an amazing concept?
Where is that?
Unbelievable.
Here, right here.
Where is that? I want to go. Oh, Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
It
you
actually
read?
says that. Maybe it's the name of the town.
It says unexplored. Now, of course, I've had this map for a while, and I'm guessing it's been explored since. But here's my other favorite map. And this is like so one-off that it's a blueprint, literally. So it's literally like a blueprint.
Oh my gosh.
Can you see it?
That's
And-
fabulous.
Yeah, here, look.
Oh my God. Michael, I'm going to put you in touch with John Glanville from Maps.com after the show. You'll get a huge kick.
It sounds great. Now this says first edition, January 1975, and I bought this in February 1975. And so when I've been back to Nepal twice in the last couple of years, and we were actually in some of these very same places where at that time you had to walk for 3 weeks to get there, and now you could just ride your motorcycle there. But
You have
anyway.
maps for that long? I'm very
I'm
impressed.
telling you, I got a filing cabinet full of maps. I love maps. You didn't believe me, did you?
No, I knew you loved him. I didn't know you loved him that much.
There you go.
That's so cool.
And it's so cool that you could. I'm sorry I didn't bring that map with me when I went to Nepal.
I
That
was
would have
going to
been
say,
pretty
I wonder if the map had, well, it's how many years ago? 40 years
cool.
ago?
40, 45.
Has it changed?
46.
I would imagine it's
I'd
changed.
say a little bit. Yeah, there were no roads then. You just had to walk. It was just walking trails.
No. Well, it's
But did
amazing.
you go
Amazing
after
how
the
people have
earthquake?
changed from having the Google phone, the phone thing, but I like maps. Yeah.
Absolutely. But how do you bring that into the modern world? Because I'm a person, like I said, I love maps. I keep these old maps. But then again, I got my smartphone, and on the bike, I'm using it to tell me how long it's going to take me to get somewhere, an alternate route. And I hate to admit it, I've adapted to it, and it's easy, and I use it.
Yeah, it's safer than pulling out a Thomas guide when you're on the freeway in LA. I think I did that once.
That's what
Thomas
you want
guide
to
with my
do.
saddlebags.
So how does MadMaps move forward, or do they just continue the same as some magazines will continue in print, even though the internet has replaced a lot of what they do, but some people just love printed magazines. So will MadMaps continue in that way, or are they doing something
No,
digital as well?
it'll go in tandem with a digital offering. Again, when I was talking about being able to see the big picture and doing your trip planning and that, you don't get that feeling on a smartphone. You can't get that feeling on a smartphone. So ideally what you do is you have an offering that allows you to do your trip planning, and you get the overview, and you can carry your paper map with you too, especially if you lose your frickin' signal and you don't know where you're going, right? So it's always nice
There
to
you
have
go.
that as a backup. But also to be able to just download the coordinates and the directions and have them play you the directions as you're going. So you go and you plan your trip, and then you can have your digital offering just give you the turn-by-turn directions. And we're working on that too. So when Maps.com acquired MadMaps, That was one of the biggest things, was going through updating all of the data and information that we had collected, updating the paper map series, and while we were doing that, updating the digital database so that it'll allow us to provide, well, I should say us. It'll allow maps.com, MadMaps, to offer it in a digital format as well. And hopefully that will be coming out within the next year. We've been waiting a while to come out with a new release. We did this with Garmin. I had a relationship with Garmin and with Harley Davidson. We created their first app. Go figure. I can't believe we did it, but we did.
You amaze me for this. The fact that
Really?
you had this company that wasn't all that big, but you had a relationship with Harley Davidson. I mean, I can't imagine that you had it with Garmin as well. I mean, it's fantastic.
They love the content.
You are a powerhouse. You are
She
clearly
is. Jenny is a powerhouse. When I met her, I thought, she's a powerhouse.
She could, and I think you could probably sell anything, right?
Well, you know what I have though, and this is the God's honest truth. I had the best people working with me all the time. And when we were making these maps, the people that were locating the roads for us, we had scout masters and scout mistresses managing our road scouts all over the country. Our cartography team was spectacular. It was a real genuine group effort when we were doing designing and that. We had a huge whiteboard in the office, and I would just walk around the office and I was like, okay, everybody, throw out a name for this series, throw out a name for this map. And we all worked together. I mean, it really was it was madness, but it was a lot of fun too.
Crazy.
Awesome.
Really good times. So anyway, Harley Davidson, Barb Mannion called me, or she actually emailed me, and I missed the email. So she called me like 2 weeks later and she's like, hey, Jenny, this is Barb Mannion. Or she sent another email. And I'm like, I call the VP and I'm like, hey, yo, Maggie, come here. Read this, right? I was like, does that say Harley Davidson on it, right? So the second email is Barb going, hey, I don't know if you missed my first email. And it's like, yeah, I trashed the first email, right? So 2 weeks
I thought
later,
it was an advertisement for Harley boots or something, right?
and to this day, Barb and I are still friends. She came to visit last year, and hopefully once this COVID thing calms down, she'll come back with John. And it's amazing the people that you meet in this industry that are just, I don't know, so wonderful and genuine. And so she brought me in kicking and screaming into Harley Davidson, and she wanted me to be a licensee. And I was like, oh, no, I don't want to do that. And
Yeah. That's
Well, I can see some of these things.
Hey,
You got the
Barb's on
Harley
right
logo
now.
on a lot of that stuff.
oh my
It's
God,
amazing.
now in retrospect, I'm like, oh my God, what? And nobody knew what they were doing. They said, can you make an app? And Google Maps did not exist when we made our first map app. I mean, it was incredibly difficult. And we started to work with a lot of the tech people at Harley at the time. And God, Ken Osterman, and I can't remember.
Ken's
Oh,
awesome.
Ken was great. I love Ken.
Ken. I know good friends with Ken. Yep. Good people.
And we really did work our butts off trying to come up with a solution, you know, and trying to figure out how to offer the first digital mapping solution. And then Google Maps came, and that was a game changer, absolute game changer, which is phenomenal. And that's how you'll see our data too when we start going digital again, and have it'll probably be through the Google platform. And notice how I keep saying we.
Yeah, well, it's your baby, you know. You don't own it anymore, but you still want it to do well, you know.
I do. I really do. And I really did sell it to probably the best company for it to move into the next generation.
Well, are you
they've
part
done
of their
an
team in
enormous
any
amount
way?
of work. So
When you sold it, did you stay on in any capacity?
only to see them through as an independent contractor, to see them through the development of the rebranding of the series and putting into putting together like the fact checking systems. A lot of my old scouts that we used, you know, Roberto Gordo, Fat Robert, he's back and working with us too after all these years. And every single
Texas
map
Robert.
Pardon?
Texas Robert.
Texas Robert, yeah.
Yeah.
I call him Gordo.
We have so many good comments here, and Barb is on. Barb's watching. She said to say hi. And my friend Holly Harry says, being in new construction in the 90s, we'd have to go by cross coordinates because there weren't any posted roads yet. Maps were my only way to find remote areas.
Oh,
So, yeah, a lot of map lovers out there.
A lot of comments. Rob Nussbaum does want to know, does it load in a Cannonball roll chart?
yeah,
It probably
actually.
could. We cut it and taped it.
You should take over the Cannonball. That would be
That's not
amazing. MadMaps meets Cannonball. That'd be fantastic.
Do you guys really have roll scrolls?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's how they
Do
work.
you really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
absolutely.
Jenny, remember when I met you, we talked about doing a Cannonball map that you said
I
people
do,
would
and
love
I
to do the
must have-
routes? Remember, I
Was
think we
that
talked
Rob?
about that.
It'd be phenomenal.
Yeah,
We'll
because
totally
those
do
routes
it.
are so amazing. Those back roads routes. That's something you guys should talk about with the Cannonball people. Jason Sims is
Absolutely.
probably watching tonight, maybe. Anyway, Jimmy Bradley's on, and hey, Leslie Hutchinson, our neighbor and friend in common. Leslie Hutchinson's watching from down the street from me. Uh-oh,
Gina
what's
Woods
that?
is watching, and Gina says she loves maps too. We
Oh,
also have
It's nice.
next week's guest, Genevieve Schmidt, is in the house as
Oh,
well.
Genevieve's going to be on. Hey, let's take our break, Mike, and then we're going to bring Trish in. We're gonna
Absolutely.
bring Trish
Good
in.
idea.
Okay, we'll take a break. Thank you, Jenny. Come right back, and we'll be right back, guys. Hold on.
Hey, Tricia, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, this is Chris from Cycle Source Magazine, and I want to thank you for watching the flagship show of the Source Media Group, Shop Talk. We go live with Shop Talk every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but it's only one of the many programs we offer from Source Media. In addition to that, Wednesday nights we have Cannonball Chronicles that looks into the life and times of Cannonball racers as they prepare for this year's Motorcycle Cannonball. Thursday night we have Bike Night Live that dives into the culture of bike night, the food, the bikes, and the fun of hanging out with friends, and we even have some live entertainment. Sunday morning, Cyber Swap kicks off, where we have a sort of home shopping network approach to motorcycle swap meets, and we bring guys on that have parts to sell live right there. All of this in addition to our staple programs, which are Grease and Gears TV, live on the street from the events and rallies, Grease and Gears Garage, and Grease and Gears Garage Roadshow. We look forward to bringing more of this type of programming to you from the home of Two Wheel Entertainment, the Source Media Group.
Hi, I'm Tom. I'm with Banks Brothers Motorcycles. One of the things I want to show you today is our new improved engine puller.
The changes to this machine has been in the arms and in the hands. We put hind joints in the hand to allow rotation of the engine, which makes it easier to get it in and out of the frame. With the angle change, we have equal clamping pressure on them. And over here we have what's called the posi lock, which allows this to be locked in place and the engine can't swing from side to side.
And we're going to show you just how easy it is to pull the motor out of the bike right now. George is actually going to come in, make contact with the cylinders, tighten it down, and pull it out of there.
You lift it up, rotate it, and bring the assembly out of the frame. You see the motor starting to move, and it centers itself. This allows no side play once the motor's in place, and it keeps it safe. It can't fall out.
Visit BanksBrothersMotorcycles.com to order your Banks lift.
Hey, we're back. So, Michael, I must say, I just have to say before we go on, I'm so impressed with your maps. I really, that was really cool. And
But this show may inspire me to start using. I keep picking up the little ones. I have some of their big maps as well, but the little ones, it's almost like the difference between a computer and having a smartphone. It fits in your pocket.
Yeah.
This goes in your pocket. You'd open up, and it's great. And I'm really looking forward to it.
And they fold up and not really big. They're smaller, so they're way easier to use especially when you're on a motorcycle. But
let's bring Jenny back. I do want to ask Jenny. We'll bring her right in because I want to ask Jenny about the Rocky Mountains. I don't have any Rocky Mountain MadMaps.
You're kidding. Uh-oh,
No,
shame.
do you have one? Did we lose Jenny?
No, they sent me California. I have California and I have Southern Nevada.
Yeah, I got like
Where's
7 or 8
Jenny?
of them.
Hang up.
Uh-oh.
Hang up.
First-
There
Here
you
she
are.
is.
Hey,
Jenny,
you
I don't
want-
know if you heard me. I was wondering, do you have any Rocky Mountain maps?
I do, and they're in the mail. They are coming, they really are, just like your check. They are in the mail and on the way to you right now. Hopefully you'll get
I was
them
up in the
tomorrow.
mountains today, and right near me, and it's just like maybe 15 miles away, we have the Peak to Peak Highway, which is a scenic byway, and it's just gorgeous. It's the top of the mountain, and it just roller coaster kind of turns, and you see the
Nice.
Continental Divide. It's gorgeous. So I was wondering if you have any maps with that.
Yep.
Oh, of course she
Colorado,
does,
New
Mike. Of
Mexico,
course she does.
Arizona, Utah, the Southwest. They're all, I do believe there's a package coming for you. I just don't know why you didn't get it yet, but hopefully tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I did get some Christmas cards this past week, so.
I did too. So weird. That was
So,
weird.
so Jenny, what came first? Was it MadMaps or was it Mad Jenny Lefferts?
Oh, depends who you ask.
I'm a mad mapper. Someone's
Oh,
calling me
I
a mad mapper.
like that. Oh, I like that. That's a great title, the Mad Mapper.
Mad mapper.
Oh,
Instead
yeah.
of Mad Hatter, the Mad Mapper. That's
So
great.
let's talk to Jenny about what you did like after MadMaps. You started getting into your bike more and doing some stuff with your Sportster, and then you're with our friend Trish, who we're going to bring on right now. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, and Tricia, I'm really excited to see how Tricia explains this, but I think it was 2017. I went into Dudley Perkins. It was still Dudley Perkins. They had just, I don't even think they had signed the sale papers yet to SFHD. And I bought a 750 Street because I thought I would use it to teach my son how to ride. And then I took a picture of me on the street and I posted it on Facebook. And Tricia, my buddy from Road Bike, she reaches out and she goes, "Hey, Jenny, why don't I get you set up?" And I was like, yes, that would be great, right? So I thought she was going to send me some leathers. No, that's not what she meant. She meant she was going to have me, have the bike fit me, and we were going to do builds and parts. And I'll let you introduce Tricia, and she'll tell you the story and my introduction into motorcycle maintenance and motorcycle building. My whole riding experience was about the road and where we were going to go.
Right.
And the next iteration became it became all about the bike. And only because of Tricia, I finally had bikes that fit me.
Let's bring Tricia Szulewski. I met her when she worked for American Iron Magazine. Wonderful photographer, writer. She works for Women Riders now. Let's bring Trish in, and we can talk more about how you guys got together. Are you there, Trish?
I'm here.
There she is.
All right.
There she is.
Hi.
Oh my God!
Thanks
you
for
look so
having me
awesome.
on. Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay, so Jenny gave me a ring or something. I guess maybe I saw a post on Facebook. I don't remember. It was so long ago. But she's like, "Look at this cool Harley Davidson Street 750 I just bought, and it fits me so well." And then she started talking about her Sportster that was in the garage untouched for quite a while. And she said, "I never realized that a bike could fit me so well." And this is even before we decided to make it really fit her. She didn't even really know, right, Jenny? Am I getting the story?
Yep, I never rode a bike that fit me in my life. Never did I ever have a bike that worked for me.
Right.
Well, I didn't know that. I thought they all worked fine. I thought, I thought you kind of lifted your ass off the seat to pull the clutch in, right? That's just how you rode.
Yeah. Right. So
Mike, you look horrified.
So through my experience I worked at TAM Communications, the publisher of American Iron, Road Bike, and a bunch of other magazines through the years. For 21 years I was there before it folded this past summer. And my main job was the creative director, art director, but I also wrote a ton of stories. I reviewed a lot of products, and I liked to work on bikes too. So I did a lot of do-it-yourself kind of installs, tech and how-to stories. I would plan the install, source the parts, take the photos, write the story, lay it out. I did almost everything. Kind of a one-woman show over here.
Does that sound like Chris Callan? Doing it all.
Yeah.
Wow. You are
It's a
amazing.
lot of work, but
You know,
it's a lot of fun too.
Let's bring on some
Go
of
ahead.
Jenny's pictures. We've got to skip ahead because we missed some. We're going to go back. But if we could bring on like 13 through 16 there, show some of
there's
Jenny's
Trish.
pictures. Because
Well,
What are you
That's
doing
me.
there, Trish? That's you, huh?
I was so excited to get a grinder for Christmas that year.
oh, that's a great photograph. I
Love
love
that.
it.
I know.
And then obviously you're with Women Writer now.
Mhm.
And
Right,
and the-
womenwritersnow.com.
And the next shot I think
had
shows
been-
off. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
The next shot really shows off the extent of the work that you're doing, designing these magazines. The
Yeah.
next shot actually I particularly like because it's a behind the scenes look at how some magazines operate. And there you are looking at the pagination, I guess. Can you tell us about this? Because this
Yeah,
is truly, a merging
this
of,
was-
it's obviously you do things digital, but having it, and we're talking about the tactile
Mhm.
sensation of working with maps. And in a similar way, magazines are very similar to that. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I mean, I love print magazines, and I know a lot of people still do. It's just it's been a really, really hard few years for print, but that what you were seeing in that photograph was what we called preview, and we would take the pretty much every layout, every ad, and we would tack it up on the board and have a look at it. We'd sit back and look at it as a whole. And sometimes we would move one story, up a bit, move an ad back, make it flow.
Right.
Because as you're thumbing through the pages of a magazine, you want it, you want the stories to catch the reader's eye, and it's mostly about the flow.
Hey, I'm sorry to have to butt in here, but without any like real magazine, training, I didn't go to school or anything. This is so good to see this because I've never seen the inside operation of another magazine. But this used to be.
I was thinking the same thing.
This used to be.
We all are. We all are.
This used to be one of my favorite parts of the magazine. I used to do that same thing with little thumbtack boards, man, and I would sit there and just look at it as a volume of work. It was always the greatest thing because for magazine people, outside people might not realize it, but you're building this thing. It's so much like building a motorcycle. You're putting the pieces together and the lines coming together and the flow of it. And like, it's so cool to see that. Like, it just brought back so many good memories.
It's so
Yeah,
cool
that's
seeing it
cool.
on a tack board like that
Yeah.
because
Great picture.
I'm sure it exists on the computer. You could have looked at it on the computer and you could have all gathered around a big screen, but it's not the same. You took the time and the money to print it out, hang it up, and just step back in a big room and say, what does it look like? It's really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for that picture. It's amazing. This warms my
I'm
heart.
glad
too.
I found that. That's about the only one I have from the office.
Well,
when
you
we
have such
started,
an extensive career. I want to thank you for all the years of that you gave us American Iron and all the. I know what it takes. And Chris, we know what it takes to put out a magazine, and that is a hard job.
And I could thank you
I
for
love
doing
it.
a good job with my photography too, because I know you laid out a number of my stories as well.
Yeah, thanks for giving us such great photography. It makes my work a lot easier when I get good
Well, thank
photography.
Well, let's kind of bring this back to MadMaps and Jenny
Yeah.
and how the two of you got together and the project. So if we could even go on with a few more photos talking about customizing Quinn. And why don't you and Jenny
That's her
tell us
birthday.
about Quinn,
Yeah, Quinn.
your Street
Okay.
750.
Yeah. So what we decided was Jenny had never done a tech story before. She didn't even know what parts were called, right, Jenny? I mean, it was a big
wheel and a
education
rotor,
experience.
and it was brutally difficult.
And Jenny's, I'm sorry to interrupt, but she's on the West Coast with a lot of you guys, and I'm on the East Coast trying to coordinate. It took a long time to just coordinate when we were going to get all the parts that we needed for these bike builds. And for me, I was going to fly and stay in San Francisco with Jenny for a few days and teach her how to do it. how to shoot. Yep, there I am on Jenny's floor trying to take the part shots. So that was the plan, and to make it most economical and get the most bang for our buck, we decided to not customize one of her bikes, but two. So that was, it was quite an endeavor.
I must say those wheels are killer. Those wheels on that bike.
Well, it's not that bike. That is the world's ugliest bike. But by the time we were finished with it, it's beautiful and it fits me. But I have to say that street, when it came out of the dealership, was butt ugly. Now that's a nice looking bike. That is the street. But that is the street after Trish and I got on it. We took the back end off of it. We got rid of those god awful turn signals that were like, I don't know. I mean, it's amazing. Even the people at the dealership who didn't like the street couldn't believe. The mechanics were even saying, damn, that bike, yeah, see how ugly that was? I'm sorry. Sorry, Barb. It was fucking ugly. Oh my God. And I love it. It's my city bike. It's Harley Quinn now. She's my bike for the city. But Stella's my keeper bike. And that was the one that really took me to the next level of my motorcycle education. And I think, Trish, your hair is gray now. I can't remember. It was really
this picture now I've taken since American Iron doesn't exist anymore. I decided to take all the articles that some of the articles that we did on the Street 750 and post it to womenridersnow.com. So the first one focused on getting the right ergonomic fit for Jenny. For her, we put the Harley Davidson Reach handlebars on it so that it brought it back a couple inches, and Corbin seat, changed the riding position a little bit. And Jenny, you did some work with some people to make sure that you were sourcing the right parts for your
Irish.
fit,
right? Oh my God bless Irish. Declan Malone from San Francisco Harley Davidson. He's the parts manager, and I've known Irish for 20 years, right? And he's got this thick Irish brogue. There he is. Oh, there's one, baby. He's got this thick Irish brogue, and he mumbles a bit, and I couldn't understand him. And he's like, do you want to keep the struts? And I'm like, the what? And the strut. And I didn't know what the hell a strut was. Like, what's a strut, right? And let alone a strut, right? And I wound up keeping the struts. And that'll segue into Stella, who is that bike that you saw in the first photographs when we were talking about MadMaps. That's the 93 Sportster that I rode from San Francisco to Sturgis and back, that I packed the father of my children on when I first met him. We kept her. Her name's Stella. And oh my God, trying to find parts for a 93 Sportster was, again, not easy. And we found some amazing wheels from Black Bike Wheels. You'll see them later on. I think you've got some pictures of that. And I'd love you to talk a little bit about that. We worked with probably the best mechanic I've ever met in my entire life. Sorry, Mike, I love you too. But his name is Colin Winter, and he owns Matoria Speed Shop in San Bruno. And the man is a rock star. And he has his own like when parts didn't fit, because they never blank fit, right? Especially when I gave them the wrong year of the bike. I'd say it was a 94 when it was a 93, and then you get the part and it wouldn't fit because the mounting, whatever, right? So he could go in the back room and he would literally produce and weld and create parts so that we can make the parts fit. And Tricia, if you want to kind of walk us through, we actually created.
I think that's called fabrication.
Thank you. That's the term. I couldn't say it. I call him my jewelry maker.
You learned a lot. You learned a lot of this stuff. You came from the map world, okay? How do you supposed to know what a strut is? Come on.
A strut.
Awesome. Yeah.
If you Google it, it doesn't even come up as a motorcycle part. It
comes up as a swagger.
Pretty much.
Staying alive, right?
But we did, oh my God, the bike it's not complete yet. It's almost done, but Fat Robert Gordo, he's actually been helping me a bit too. write this. And Chris Callan, I'll send you some samples because they never made it to press. American Iron pulled the plug when Colin's first build article was on the press. It's completely heartbreaking. So I'll
yeah,
send
it's
them
a real
to you.
shame because I hate that we had these guys do so much work and all the parts companies that gave us parts to be featured in American Iron magazine. You know, I hopefully that we can find a home for all
Hey,
of these
listen,
stories.
I'll tell you guys right now, no disrespect, because nobody was a better friend to me through all the development of Cycle Source than Buzz Canner. So no disrespect to him whatsoever. But if you have stuff that needs a home like that, please get in touch with Heather and I. We'll absolutely run it. We're content hungry all the time. So absolutely.
Oh,
That's awesome.
yay. Colin, are you watching? Because he took me through one of the hardest parts of my life, and I would go in there and he knew he was dealing with trouble because I was taking notes. Tricia's like, oh, you've got to photograph it. You have to take notes. You have to, and it was me not knowing very much about motorcycle parts, maintenance, anything. And
But
a lot of
now,
laughter.
but now Jenny is groomed so that she can now go and do this for a living if she wants to.
Jenny, you can start building. Come on.
But no, I actually, though, guys are really impressed. I can't believe it when I go up and I look at their bikes and I'm like, damn, that's a like really cool rotor. Like, where'd you get, you know what, whatever. And I'm like, I knew nothing, you know? And it's like, oh, that's not the regular size wheel. That's like a bigger front end, you know? And they're like,
Sure.
yeah.
Hey, that's how you learn though, right? That's how we all learn. You learn by doing or watching, you know?
Oh my gosh.
Sure.
So much. There he is. Oh, there's my honey. Hi, honey.
Those wheels. I love those wheels.
Those are really cool wheels, those black bike wheels.
Oh, killer wheels. Where are they out of?
Southern California. A lot of these part manufacturers are in SoCal.
Okay. Pretty awesome. Yeah, but I bet you photographed some of those wheels, huh, Mike? Just something about those.
Michael, lost your
Michael,
sound.
your sound's gone.
My sound's gone. Sorry.
Hi,
So where does this take you from here? So you got 2 bikes under the belt and the magazine's gone. Hopefully something will work out with Cycle Source here. But, you know, obviously it's a tough way to make a living, certainly. And MadMaps you're tied into, but moving on. So where are you both going? I know, Trish, I believe you said you're still doing graphic design and hopefully get some more jobs beyond what you're doing now.
Yeah,
with,
I'm for hire. I'm for hire.
There you go, Chris.
graphic design
I mean,
for hire. And Jenny, what about you? Where are you?
Go ahead.
Where are you headed, Jenny?
Honestly, here comes the fun one. After all these years of working in map publishing, honestly, I want to get Stella wrapped up. And I'm seriously thinking of just taking off.
I love it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think I'm going to just ride across the country all by myself.
Oh my God.
Come to
That's so
Connecticut.
cool.
You
Is
know
that where you are,
my dream?
Trish? You're in Connecticut still? Is that where you are?
Yep. Yep.
Beautiful up there. Mm.
My,
Yeah,
my-
it's cold.
Clearly, you're not changing diapers. Don't have to worry about that, right, Jenny?
No more.
All done.
All done.
Kids are in college, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking of visiting all the folks I've met in the motorcycle industry, like just doing a trip. And I can't go backwards. I have to figure out how to always go forward across the country. So Barb Mannion, hello, Michael Lichter, you know, and just go and visit. Take a few
You know, I wonder how
months
many
off.
people are looking at this now with COVID and being shut down almost a year. How many people are really saying, what's important? What do I want to do going forward? And I want to get on my bike. I know I agree with you, Jenny, that there are a lot of people, a lot of our guests that we've had on in past weeks have traveled extensively during COVID. But there's a number of people, whether it's because of age or comorbidities or things like that, or whatever it is, for whatever reasons they are
Or they're
not
stuck on
doing it.
an island and they can't leave.
Or they're stuck on land. But I wonder how many people are feeling that way. Like they want to do, they've been soul searching and they want to go out and explore now and do the things they've missed. So I think that's a great plan.
It's a good time.
Yeah, a good time to do the
Yeah,
cannonball. And
yeah.
I'll tell you, Jenny, there have been a number of comments about the cannonball.
Oh,
And
yeah.
one of them, now I know there's some technical difficulties with this because, it's sort of copyrighted. They're very protective of their roots. But
Hmm.
I'll tell you, if Jason would
Mhm.
let go, like even of the 2010 route or something, or the 2012, I think for one thing, everybody that was on that or affiliated with it would
Mhm.
love to buy that map.
Yeah, the
And
2010 cannonball. Jenny and I talked about that, and actually, I think she was going to
yeah,
talk to Lonnie Isom about it. But I don't know
it could,
if it's John Clausen though, because John's the course master. Maybe he has something to do with
okay, so
route.
there is,
So,
can they be released or not?
yeah.
But if they could, I think it would be, maybe it's a deal that's made with John Clausen and
Mhm.
Jason, or somehow. I know where you can get photography for it of the whole trip.
There's a lot of photography available.
Well, I'll tell you,
You
it
know
would be
what?
it could be a very decorated map. It could be very
fun.
cool. But
Listen,
Maps-
I
seems like,
I got the killer idea for that. So as a
Okay.
collector commemorative item, you could put it in possibly a gold-plated map roller with a little tag
Oh my
on it designating the year. I mean, that's right up their alley,
oh
man.
my God, there's a lot of possibilities.
Oh my
But I do
God.
think even as a commercial, like once you turn it into a map, then you could do products like that, sell some limited edition things. But I think there's a lot of riders that would say, wow, I wouldn't mind doing that cannonball route that they did in 2014
Oh,
or
what a, yeah,
I want to do it
absolutely.
again. I have my roll charts. I saved
yeah,
them all.
because it's
Oh my
mostly, it's almost all 2-lane roads, Jenny, not 4-lane, not divided highways. So it could be pretty cool.
Mhm.
I will absolutely reach out to John at maps.com because I think it's a fabulous idea. Absolutely. And people love that.
Everybody
You may
wants
want to give Jason a call first and see if it's possible. But there have been a number of comments from a number of people here.
Yeah, like Rob's talking about Retrocycle will be part of Jenny's Jersey tour. So they already got you coming out east.
Yeah, Walter Benarski, Cannonball routes would be awesome. Holly J. Perry, oh yeah, MadMaps and Cannonball. There's a bunch of, you have to go back and read some of the comments, but I think it
Yeah.
really could be some cool stuff.
Really fun.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, ladies, I just want to thank you both for coming. I just this is every time I get these shows, I think this is my favorite show. No, this is my favorite show. But and it's just great to see you both. Jenny, I saw you. I don't know when you're over here in Maui last. It was last before all this stuff happened.
I
You were
missed
here.
you. I was going to come out and then everything changed again.
Yeah,
By the
well-
way, Chris's neighbor is my youngest son's godmother.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm
that's
not
bizarre.
shitting you. That's how small the world is. That
It is
tiny.
small.
But I didn't meet you through them. I met you through, I think, Erin Sills at one of the women motorcycling conferences. I think Erin,
I
you
think
were
2012 we
bar.
met at the AMA conference. And but
Was it
Leslie
2012?
Leslie was the one. She sent me this book. And
Oh,
she said
she
my
sent you my
friend
book.
lives
See-
in Maui.
Oh, weird.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that great?
What a small
Yeah.
world.
That
And,
is
It
and
is.
very-
Trish and I have a connection through Women Riders Now, which was Harley Women Magazine, morphed 3 or 4 times and became Women Riders Now, which we're going to talk about more when Genevieve comes on next. Is it next week, Mike? We're giving Genevieve
Next
on?
week, we got Genevieve Schmidt on next week. Absolutely.
I'm sure your ears are going to be burning, Trish, because we'll probably have you. We'll be talking about you again.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be tuned in. I'll
Definitely.
be tuned in
Well,
for
thank
sure.
you, guys.
Genevieve has been a pioneer in women in motorcycling like you, Chris, and I'm
Wow.
super excited that you're having her on.
I'm excited. She's one of my dearest friends, and like I said, you guys kept the dream alive, so I owe you all for that, definitely. But thank you, guys.
You were the first woman to publish a motorcycle publication, weren't you, Chris?
Yes, I believe so. I believe so. And I didn't know
She's
what the
awesome.
hell I was doing.
Doesn't
But I learned
matter.
along the way.
Freaking awesome.
I didn't know what
And she
anything
was doing it hand to mouth. That's how we met. She was handing magazines out in Daytona from the back of a truck at Harley Heaven. 1988 or so?
86.
But
It was 86.
oh
I was
my
selling.
goodness.
Didn't someone want to buy the T-shirt I was wearing, Mike?
I'm
we were
sure.
selling
I'm
t-shirts,
sure they cried.
And then I had to go and change to give it to them because that's the only one I had. That one. I think you were there. You took a picture of me in the truck. I was like, "That's Michael Lichter from Easy Riders magazine." But anyway,
That's funny.
You were like
Long
the
time
first.
ago.
You're the first of the first, Chris.
well, Hopefully
it's
there'll be a
pretty
lot
darn-
more. So, we just keep it going. I wasn't there are other people before me, like Louise Sherman was writing for the AMA magazine in the 40s. She was writing columns and stuff. So, I had other inspirations for sure.
Well, you're a pioneer. You're definitely a
thanks.
pioneer.
I'm an old pioneer. It's good. But I still like writing and I love maps. And again, thank you guys for coming. And I can't wait to see what you do next, Jenny. And Trish, I know you're going to end up in a really cool place too. So just keep doing what you're doing.
Well, I'm happy at Women Writers now, for sure.
And we put it out in the universe that you could use some more work there. Because I know that what it's like freelancing, especially when the magazines leave us, which is happening to me also. So we're all in the same boat here.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's right. I was working for American Iron too for quite a while, for many years.
Yep.
So, okay. Well, we'll keep looking forward. And
Awesome,
we'll
guys.
see where the road leads us, right, ladies?
That's right. Hopefully,
Thank you very
see
much.
you soon.
Thanks, Jenny. Thank you,
Thanks,
Trish.
guys.
Appreciate
Thank
you being
you.
with us.
Bye.
Mahalo.
We'll see you guys. Take care. Mahalo. I love that.
All right.
Oh my God, what a cool show. And
Yeah. Maps. That's so cool. And it's funny because I hadn't thought about them in a long time. The Nepal map was in my darkroom in a chest where all the chemistry still is. I haven't been in there in years. I knew exactly where it was. I went right down and got it. And the other map was in my big filing cabinet. So and all my MadMaps.
What a great story. I didn't realize that she had pulled all that together and the stuff with Harley and not knowing anyone and just getting an idea. So I see you get an idea and you never know where it's going to take you, right?
A good idea and the right energy. Look where it could take. And I was amazed too, because I knew she did Harley because of a lot of the maps are branded with Harley, but I never realized that she'd been talking to Garmin and in some pre-show conversations with Jenny, I was amazed at the people she was dealing with. It's like, wow, you'd think it was a much bigger company, but it just takes a good idea. I'm also amazed about the similarities between magazine publishing and maps. It looks like they're very parallel, those two industries, and probably experiencing so much of the same problems too.
Paper stuff. Yeah. Well, we love our magazines and we still love it, and we love our maps. So hopefully other people, and I know my daughter, I don't know if she's watching tonight, but she loves maps too. She's actually taking some GIS mapping classes right now.
Yeah.
Maps.
Actually, for Chris Callan, who of course is listening, our wonderful producer and editor of Cycle Source, that'd be a really cool column, is like a map column every month.
Oh,
I know that people talk about rides. You have rides, but from the map perspective, almost.
We used to do that, where we would take people, like one month it would be Aaron Green, and we'd have my favorite ride. And we'd actually put up the map of the ride that he was talking about and the places that he would stop along the way. And, it was just, that stuff comes and goes, and you do it on and off for a while. You keep switching stuff up. But I agree, man. Like there's nothing better. Like, I've never been on the Cannonball yet, but I was on the Hoka-Hay. And one of my favorite things about being on the Hoka-Hay was the fact that you literally didn't know where you were going until you got the next day's directions. And that was the best thing. And it was it was like a surprise every day, a new adventure every day. And when you finally navigated your way through it and you figured out where you were going and where you were going to end up, it was the greatest.
Another like you said, these things come and go, Chris. But if they come back, another possibility. A lot of times we say, what's your favorite ride? And they're the most spectacular and the scenic, and riding up Mount Evans in Colorado, because it's the highest road in North America. Things like that, or Rocky Mountain National Park. But something that could be cool is just like, where you go when you want to get on the bike and go to breakfast. That is a little bit of a ride, something like that. That's just sort of like, for me, it's a little more ordinary. I don't even know if it's maybe 90 miles where we ride from Boulder up into the mountains to Netherland, peak to peak highway up north, and then back down through some other country. It's just a loop. And everyone does. It's just, take off for a couple hours and do a little ride. It's not the most spectacular ride, but you see the Continental Divide, and it's just kind of a quick.
And that sounds like a breakfast ride that leads into lunch.
Yeah.
For me.
See, and that's some of the stuff, like the ride that you think might be not so spectacular and just a little ride that you do. I know Ken took me one time, Michael, on the little road. I can't remember if it was Route 14 or what it was that goes up through Steamboat Junction and out through
Steamboat
Dinosaur.
Springs?
Yeah.
Right.
And that road, like, that was a part of Colorado I was probably never going to see on my own. You know what
That's
I mean?
a beautiful ride because
Oh,
he's
my
in
God.
Fort Collins. So Fort Collins, you go over the Poudre,
Yeah.
up the Poudre Canyon there, and I forget the Cameron Pass it's called, Chris. And then that takes you over to the other side, and then you get to like Grand Lake and to go the back way to Steamboat. It's just a gorgeous way to go.
And
Those are the great
rapping
rides. Those are the places that you'd never plan on going, but you just end up going.
and rapping through
Yeah.
those canyons, like the little canyon passes, man. Like that was incredible. And
Yeah.
being all the way from Pennsylvania, like I'd never find my way there on my own.
Yeah. Well, and that's, I guess, what Jenny did. She had people all over the country that did exactly what you're saying,
Yep.
but instead of going into a magazine, she created maps from them, MadMaps.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Her scoutmasters, scout mistresses, she called them. Yeah. Right
You know,
on.
I'm having a hard time keeping up. There's so many comments.
I know I'm gonna have
and
to come back and read all these later.
I know, me too. So I apologize to a lot of our listeners, but there are a lot of regulars that come back every week, which is, I think, awesome. Tim Stahl, Brian Pelletier, Rob Nussbaum, of course. There's so many. But one thing I think is really cool is there's this community now online of people that watch the show, and they're actually communicating not with us, but with each other.
I noticed that too. Oh my God, Nancy Williams. Yes, the Natchez Trail Park. Yes, the Natchez Trace. I rode that a couple times. Beautiful ride. This makes me want to get out and ride. I don't know. Jenny and I are gonna have to do the ride together. We talked about it. So, all right, guys. Well,
All righty.
all right. Well, I guess we'll have to wrap it up. Oh, there's that little
Back to the stable.
right on. Well, thank
Okay.
everybody. Thank you guys for joining us, and Mike for sharing your maps and doing your show and tell. It was really fun tonight.
Thank you, and thank your dad.
My dad's watching on YouTube now on this big TV. He figured out how to do it on the big TV. Would have thought. I can't wait.
Did I freeze? Can you hear me?
I think I froze.
No, you
Okay.
guys are good.
Oh,
You're
we're all
good.
froze.
Okay, sorry, but I do want to say that it's so wonderful that you're back here. You didn't, and figuratively, but that you're here in one piece and looking so great. Just so few days after your surgery, so that's great.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Good
All
drugs.
right.
Good drugs and good care from my husband. So thank you guys so much. Have a
There you
great
go.
week, and we'll see you next Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, coast to coast. Be safe, everybody.
Night, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks.